So, we're going to discuss the false impressions people have about Walt Disney World. There is no news tonight as Jess is not here, but we will have a full news report next week for you guys. And tonight, we can welcome in Darlene, Lottie, John, and myself, Stuart. And please get yourself ready and prepare yourself for the most exciting show you'll ever see anywhere. Or no, we have no idea. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. We've got a good show for you next week too. So there are a lot of false impressions people have about Walt Disney World, but I don't want to get into it just this second. I do want to bring something up that I almost forgot about and just reminded myself about. Disney this year opened up. I don't know what they called it, an expo, Darlene, where they were selling merchandise to annual passengers.
Yeah, it was the annual pass special event.
Yeah, now Darlene discussed it on last week's show, and something I found out since a lot of cast members are ticked off at annual pass holders. Not all of them, but some of them because they purchased merchandise at this event, leaving them with nothing. But that's not why they're upset. They're upset because some of those things are winding up on eBay, Poshmark, yeah, for a lot more than they were sold for. And if you don't think Disney is aware of this, you're going to get a select few who are going to ruin it for everybody else. And I would almost bet next year annual pass holders are not invited to this event. I wouldn't guarantee it, but I'd almost guarantee it. I did want to pass that along. So if you're one of those people who decided to make a few bucks off of what you purchased there, you can get out of the, audio or video of the show, whichever you're watching us on or listening to us on. We don't need you here. That's just not right.
It is. It's very sad that somebody would do that because I went for things that I wanted for Christmas gifts and stuff. And I didn't see people buying multiple things. I bought two because I bought one for a birthday gift for somebody else. So they don't know about it. But anyway.
Okay. You're not buying it to turn around and make a profit on it.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I think Disney's got two choices: either not invite us annual pass holders next year, or put a limitation on how much you can purchase.
What was for sale? I completely missed all of this.
The kilts for is it not kilts? What do you call those things for the lightsabers?
The hilt.
That's it. The hilts. Yeah.
The hilts, they had Dooney and Burke purses, they had lounge flies, they had 50th anniversary stuff, they had spirit jerseys and sweatshirts, a lot of movie memorabilia, like they had the Encanto dolls, they had the red ears, they had the Star Wars ears, they had the anniversary 50th anniversary gold ornaments. So I got the ones that I wanted last year, this year. They had Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations. They had a whole bunch of stuff that they hadn't been able to sell over the past the years before. Mm-hmm. So that was what was for sale. And it was a good price. It was like 60% off. But what I think Disney should do is if they see these things on eBay, they should stop it if they can. I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they can. I know cast members are not allowed to sell anything they purchase. Even though a lot of them try to do it, and some of them get caught. I don't know if all of them do.
So where was this held at?
ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you go in, right off the parking lot, there's that brand new building.
Mm-hmm.
It was in there where all the Disney merchandise has seemed to be put in lately. So it was really nice event. I went twice because I was looking for something else for somebody. So I went back, and that's how I got the one gift, because they just brought a pallet of this thing out, and they were like, I'm like, how much is it? And they were like $18. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll take one. And then my friend that I was talking to, she was like, can you get me one too? And I said, yes. So I got another one. And the guy goes, you're lucky you're getting these. He goes, they're flying, because they went from like five.
Yeah, they're all on eBay right now.
And then they went down.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm just disappointed that you didn't call me. Maybe that was for my own benefit.
yeah. I didn't even go. I just didn't expect them to have
Well,
anything I'd
you
be
know, and
interested in, so I didn't go.
I wasn't even sure how much they were going to let me do. And it was like one of these things where I went in on, what was it, Wednesday, the first day, and it was mobbed. And then the second time I went right after my doctor's appointment and I made it and I got in like right away. But it took me like almost an hour and a half to walk around everything because they had added more stuff and rearranged it.
Um,
So,
Something I want to mention though, it's like I don't have a problem with people making money off of things they purchase, but when you're buying things for the sole purpose of making money, that you're taking an item out of someone's hand who is taking the time to get in the queue and go to this event because they're looking for something for their collection or their enjoyment.
yeah,
Just don't do that, please. It's just not right.
I know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I do want to get into the show, the
Yes.
actual topic that we have for the
There you go.
yeah. Um, and I'll just mention what I think is and correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. I think the number one um, misconception about Walt Disney World is that it's for kids only,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and it's not. It's. I think the adults have more fun than the kids sometimes.
Well, apparently we do.
Yeah, this show wouldn't be here, if it weren't
Exactly.
for the fun we have
Yeah.
in the adults that tune in. Speaking of tuning in, you can tune into us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of other places. I'm not going to mention the other places, but we're at Amazon Podcasts as well. We're all over the place. You can find us, but the only video you can really see of us is either a talk show or on YouTube. And we did start a campaign last week that I mentioned at the very end of the show, but I want to mention it now. You can save Darlene's position here as one of the co-hosts of the podcast by giving us a thumbs up and liking and subscribing to the show. If we don't get enough, or you could give a thumbs down. We're tallying the votes, and if there aren't enough thumbs up and subscribers to the show, Darlene will no longer be with us.
Please watch
We're,
us on
we're,
our
we're
Facebook.
trying to save her. We're trying to save her job.
Facebook Live too. I go live occasionally, especially during
Yeah.
like wine and dine
Yep.
and the food and wine concerts and stuff. So if you're into that, please follow us, like those as well. Forward them out to your friends.
Yeah, we're trying to get Darlene to do more of those live broadcasts, but she never goes to the parks anymore. No, I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. Anyway,
I might be there two times this week,
yeah, I actually got there this week.
depending on the weather.
Yeah, I'm the one who hasn't been there much lately. It's just been so busy.
We saw you were with Tafiti.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
How was that's what I want to see. I can't wait to see it.
I
It's I think it would have fit better. It fit. Don't get me wrong. It fits in Epcot with what they're trying to do there, but I think it would have fit better in Animal Kingdom. But I'm happy it's in Epcot, and I'm not going to say anything else except it's very, very good and very educational. I might add.
Yeah.
I think
I
it balances Epcot.
Right.
Mhm.
I think it balances Epcot, and I think once you see the rest of it, you'll understand
Yep.
why it's pieced there. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people I've heard are saying that in my circle as well. And I think they really need to give it a shot first.
Yeah,
before
I agree.
they,
I,
you know.
like I said, it does fit Epcot, but I think but you know what? There are a lot of things, and we're not going to get into that tonight, but there are a lot of things that are in parks that would fit better elsewhere, but they serve the purpose of where they are. And we did a show, God, it must have been at least a couple of years ago, on things we would relocate someplace else. Maybe we'll do another show like that down the road, but not yet. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've discussed Disney World with people over the years, and especially with Disney cruises too. How many times you get people saying to you, Disney Cruise is for kids only. No, it's
Mhm.
not. It's for
No.
the adults in the room. The kids,
Well, and Disney does such a great job of entertaining the kids on a cruise that you don't run into them as much as you
Right.
probably would on other cruise ships.
yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And in the parks, as a parent, there was nothing more, and Lottie, you can attest to this too, so can you, Darlene. There was nothing more rewarding than watching Disney through the eyes of your children as they enjoyed it.
Oh, the expression on my daughter's face when she would see a character or get to like a ride, the Dumbo at the time. She was just like, it flies. Oh my gosh, I can get on it, And I'm like, yeah.
But you know what else is great about watching it through your kids' eyes? You get to see the different stages as they get older.
Right.
And then you get to go to the parks when they're old enough to be off on their own by yourselves. And you don't
Mhm.
have the kids with you. You can enjoy it for yourself. And that's also great.
Yeah.
I'm selfish. I don't have kids to take to the parks. I like it for myself.
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
Hey,
even things
John, I
like
agree.
Mhm.
I just leave mine at home.
Yeah.
Look at the great dining that's available
Oh my
Mhm.
in
God.
Walt Disney World, in the resorts, even in the parks, especially
Yes.
Epcot.
And you know, I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's another misconception. A lot of people think of food in a theme park like they would think of food at Great Adventure.
Or
Well,
Darien
Six Flags, I should say.
Oh yeah, Six Flags it is now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
I had a friend. This was a few years ago, who had asked me to help him plan a trip for him and his niece, and um, I talked to him about all of his options and everything. I talked to him about food, told him how great the food was, and I think it went in one ear and out the other because when he came back, my first question is, "Where did you eat?" And they
Mhm.
didn't even eat at the park. He got up in the morning. They were at Pop Century. They ate breakfast at Pop Century.
Mhm.
They maybe got a couple snacks during the day, and then they went back to the resort and they ate dinner at Pop Century. And so that was the extent of.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, that there's some good food there,
Yeah,
but
there
they
is.
missed out on so much by only eating at their resort because they just didn't think that Disney had great theme park
Yeah,
food.
yeah. They thought it was just
Yeah.
counter service.
Yep.
That's
You know what a lot of people do, especially the people that are staying off property? They make the mistake of leaving the parks, whether it's in the afternoon or dinner hour, and they go to the chain restaurants in the tourist sections of Disney World.
Mhm.
Big mistake. First of all, they're priced a bit higher than in a lot of cases than you would find at home at the chain restaurants in your neighborhood.
Oh no.
You don't
I
think
have
so?
no. Red Robin is very
Competitive?
and yeah, they're the same price here as they
Okay.
are up in New York. So is Outback and Olive Garden.
Okay. All right. Then I'm wrong about that. I mean, I always thought they were a little higher because
They,
it's tourists
I,
only.
I think they're higher because you're not paying in money. You're paying for in time and gas, trying to get to and from you're wasting.
Well,
Just
yeah,
think
if
about
you're
the amount of
Yeah,
time you would
absolutely true.
waste. If you were at um the Barnstormer in Magic Kingdom and you decide to go off property to get something to eat and then come back, that's easily 3 hours out of your day.
oh
Yeah.
right, yeah. Oh, trust me.
Yeah.
Been there, done that for family.
And if you're going off property for whether it's for family or friends or just think about what you're losing out on.
Hmm.
You're losing you're getting that burger from McDonald's when you could have had the burger at, let's say, the Backlot Express, just
Which is
as an
really good,
example.
or a Cuban
That's
sandwich,
praise.
which are
Now, there was a time I
definitely
would have said Pecos Bills, but their burgers.
the nachos. I just had the nachos there though, and those were good.
Yeah, Pecos Bills has to step it up again with their burgers. Go back to what they used to serve there.
Yeah,
Um,
chicken. See, at the chicken pot pies back at Columbia Harbor
yeah, I
House.
heard about that. That's good. I
That's
think
my
Jess mentioned that.
favorite.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think Jess may have mentioned that.
I think she did.
Um, Yeah, but that's another misconception. Is the food there? What other misconceptions do you guys think people have about Walt Disney World, or that you've heard from people over the years?
I think you hear a lot of people, they think, oh, Disney World, it's all about the attractions. That's all it is.
Yep.
And I mean, we've talked about some of the things here, and certainly Disney World has some of the greatest attractions, but like we talked about, dining, the level of dining in the resorts is phenomenal. The character greetings, that's a really popular activity for
Exactly.
kids and adults alike. It is
Mhm.
meeting and visiting the characters, which you don't get to do. Other parks try to do character kinds of things like your regional parks, but they just don't
It's not the
have the kind
same.
of characters that
No, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
parades, shows, shopping,
Fireworks.
fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, as locals, a lot of times you go to visit the parks, you don't even bother go to get on the attractions because of all the
Mm-mm.
other things that you can do.
Yeah.
I don't know. You go to Epcot on a day and you don't go on a ride, but you go and see, the Canada 360. You go into the
Club Cool.
Club Cool, test
Beverly.
out the Beverlies and the drinks and that, which I'm
Or
really
you just go for lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Or just go for a snack, like bring your popcorn bucket, get your popcorn bucket refilled,
I always forget to bring mine. I don't
I
know why. I
know.
just always do.
And another thing you can do, and when you have a friend in town, like my friend Lottie, we have a drink and an appetizer when we
A
catch up.
drink. A
Of
drink.
course.
You shut
A
bars
drink.
down.
Of course.
Listen, that's the other misconception, that there isn't great drinks. Like, people go to they think about Magic Kingdom all the time, and
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom's pretty dry. But Disney Springs, all of the resorts,
Mhm.
the other three parks all
Mhm.
have fantastic drinks.
Yes.
Fantastic drinks.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we don't want people getting drunk in the parks.
No, you don't do
No,
that.
no, don't want that.
Just
Don't do that.
Be
especially
responsible.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
something else that I've heard from people before, they don't realize that there's more than one theme park at Walt Disney World.
Oh, right.
It's
Yeah.
just Magic Kingdom.
Nope. Got
Mhm.
4 parks.
Yeah.
Well, 5 if you count Disney Springs, because Disney Springs does have entertainment. They've got a lot of different like people that are spread out throughout, in the
Um,
theater and stuff, and down by
Darlene,
the
I,
theater.
I'm going to let you continue, but I respectfully disagree with Disney Springs being counted as a fifth park. Now, if you want to mention the water parks,
Mm.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't come to go to the water parks, but yes, some people do.
yeah,
And then they even have mini golf on property.
yeah, they do. There's oh god, there what is it, Winter Wonderland or something?
Winter Summerland.
Yeah,
Winter
Winter
Summer.
Summerland, and I forgot the name of the other one.
Fantasia Gardens.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. They also have many golf courses. You can go horseback riding. People have no clue how much you can do on Disney property. Um, we had met
Golf.
somebody on a plane years ago. Great golf. We had met someone years ago. That's all he was going down to Disney for, was to play golf for a weekend and go home. They
Yeah, it's
used to
a
have,
destination for golfers.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They used to have racing too there.
Yeah, they did. That didn't quite pan out.
No, and they used to have. Do they still have a minor league baseball? Not minor, the Major League Baseball team spring training there. It used to be the Braves. They're not there anymore.
The Braves aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't
But I
know.
thought
No,
somebody.
I think it's local stuff now, if I'm not
Yeah, I
mistaken.
thought somebody was coming in this year or next year. I forgot.
Well, you can certainly come there for lots of big running races. There's tens of thousands of runners come there for their events.
Yep.
Right.
Almost next month, November, first weekend.
Envious I am again.
Yeah.
A lot of people also think that there's nothing to do in the resort at night, but they do have movies outside. Some of them have game rooms that you can take your kids there. And the theming of the pools at each resort is absolutely phenomenal. And the kids love swimming in the winter because our pools are heated.
Oh, and if you stay at the Grand Floridian, they do have a brothel there for those in need. No, I'm kidding.
What did you say?
I'm kidding. That was a joke. They do not have a brothel.
Well, you just said
That's
it's not just for
universal.
kids.
No, I'm kidding. It's not universal either. I'm joking.
But there you go. There's another misconception that you have to spend every day in the park.
Mhm.
You
No,
don't.
you don't. There's so
Mhm.
much to do outside of the parks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, there when WDW Fan Zone had its website, and we had a bunch of writers for us. There was one who's since passed on, unfortunately, Ron,
Mhm.
who would spend a month with his wife at Disney, and they weren't going to the parks every day because they would relax. They did a lot outside of the parks.
We went to breakfast at Kona one morning. We
Mhm.
met and had breakfast at Kona. It was delicious, And then we went and just toured the park, or not toured the park, toured the resort.
Can you imagine how relaxing it would feel to be staying at a Disney resort, maybe a DVC where you've got a one or two bedroom, and you were going to be there for a month or
Right?
2 months, and you could go to the parks when you want to,
Yep.
but you could just relax and do whatever. All these other things that you've talked about, going dining, going to other activities,
Hmm.
going running in the morning if you feel like it.
Oh yeah,
Walking,
walking.
going on the monorail or the Skyliner, visiting different resorts, shopping, or just taking advantage, like you say, Darlene, of the different amenities that the resorts have. There are so
Hmm.
many activities, whether it's fishing or crafts or, like you say, movies on the lawn at
On
night.
the lawn, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that you can do, and I feel bad for guests that don't realize that they don't do their research or ask, come back to the resort and say, is there anything that we can do because we're back early? What's going on? You know, I mean, I've walked I've when we've stayed at the boardwalk, we've walked the entire boardwalk and stopped in the shops and stuff. So we like that.
Yeah, you know what else is great that you can do, even if you're off property, make a reservation at one of the resorts
Mm-hmm.
for lunch or dinner,
Lunch or dinner.
and just walk around the resort. If you're on the boardwalk, like Darlene mentioned, you can leave either before or after your meal and take a nice stroll on the boardwalk. There's shops and other things to do.
Yeah.
Something else that's a misconception that people have about Walt Disney World is that Animal Kingdom is a zoo.
It is not a
Not
zoo.
the
It's not
zoo.
a
Yeah, where's
zoo.
Kurt when you need him?
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of zoos, no,
Ah,
hopefully Kurt will be back with us next week. He should be.
The other misconception is that Animal Kingdom is a half day park. It is not.
Yeah.
No, it is not. You can do the attractions in a half a day, but there's so much to do in Animal Kingdom that's fun. It's educational. That does take time. Whether it's the safari trails.
Right. The Maharaja Jungle Track, the Gorilla Falls trails,
Mhm.
Hmm.
the Discovery Island trails.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot.
there's a lot.
Yeah, the Boneyard while it's still there.
Mhm.
Well, it is.
And now they have the performers back out and stuff too. So you have, a lot of performers and that are.
And the two best shows, in my opinion, the two best shows at Walt Disney World are in Animal Kingdom, and that is The Lion King and
And
Nemo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I prefer Nemo to The Lion King, but they're both absolutely great.
Yep. They are.
Yeah. Darling, you mentioned the fireworks before.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the Macy's July 4th whatever you call that, fireworks celebration. You can go to Disney World every single day.
Yeah.
The ones in Magic Kingdom are better than Epcot, but Epcot's very good.
I do like the new Phantasmic.
Yeah, the new That's right. I forgot about Fantasmic. It's not a fireworks show, but it's a show,
No, it's a show.
and it's a
Well,
good.
it has some fireworks in it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
It
a
does.
little
Yeah.
bit. It is better than the one that was there before.
I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
You've never seen it.
Oh, I've seen Phantasmic, but the kids haven't.
Oh.
Oh.
So that's
That's
on
child abuse.
that is
Depriving.
Ah,
that is on the top of my list of the things that the kids have to do
Oh my
on our
God! I
next
can't
trip.
believe you've done that to them. Do they know what they're missing?
Uh, so there we
So
have
the answer
this.
is yes. They know what they're missing,
Yeah,
and
they
you still
do.
won't take them.
But so the kids all know that whenever I die and my casket's leaving the church and going to the cemetery, that they're supposed to play the exit music for Phantasmic while I'm on the way out of the church. So they they know how much I love it, and I can't believe that for whatever reason they've not seen it. It is on the top of my list. They got to see
they
it.
they know to play it at your memorial service, but they've never seen the show.
So you've got a parent that likes to drink. She's never taken her kids to Phantasmic, and it's probably because she's drinking. No, we know that's not true. Lottie and Kyle are the two best parents I know of anybody here.
Ah. So Phantasmic, top of the list, and they had a demand this trip, Stuart, that you will just absolutely love. They demanded reservations at Sci-Fi. So another misconception, a misconception that people have is that you should skip this restaurant. And
Oh, skip it.
I've told them to skip it.
Done that, skip it.
I've told them to skip it, and they all say that they want to go for the experience. They don't care about the
You know what?
food. They want to go for the experience.
It is a great
Well, you're going to have
experience.
to give us a review on that one because I haven't been in it in years. We
You
used to
know,
go all the time.
I just want people out there to know that the food is good there. My problem with the food, and it's the same as Kurt's, you can get the same food at Backlot Express for a fraction of the price, but the food is good.
But you can't get the experience at Backlot.
No, the experience is very good too, but for kids it's great. For adults, it's not so comfortable in those
I
seats.
disagree. I know. You know, I have never noticed that. I have never personally noticed that.
Well, you're not as big as me. You might be taller than me.
I think
Although I am on a diet. I'm trying to get my weight down.
But anyway,
Yeah, I've been on a diet for, oh God, I don't even want to say, but I'm really trying hard to lose weight because I have a cruise coming up, and when I go
so
on
you
the
can
cruise,
put it back on.
I can put it back on. That's exactly right. Lose the weight so I can gain it back on the cruise. Buffet City, here I come. I
funny.
love cruises just for the food.
I until May or March. March? Yeah, March.
Well, you'll have better food on your cruise than I'll have on mine. I am not going on a Disney cruise.
I need to book another one.
Me too. Oh, I do have 2 booked. Never mind. Oh.
We've got to do. You know what? We've got to do a fan zone cruise one of these days.
You were going to do some research and let us know.
Yeah, it probably will not be on a Disney ship simply because of the cost. I think it'll be a lot more cost effective, and for anybody who listens or watches this show, if they want to come along, they're more than welcome to. And I just want to make it more affordable for more people.
You let us know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'll
Well,
probably be. Oh God, we're going to be in 2024 soon, so
I know.
Yeah, I will not go. I personally will not go cruising during hurricane season.
Oh,
And I got one in March, so my 2024 is kind of waylaid now.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're probably looking. I'm hoping first quarter 2025, but we'll see. I'm not waiting for another cruise after this one till 2025, but You know, but maybe the group cruise will be 2020, first quarter
We
2025.
could have one in 2024 and one in 2025.
Yeah, could do that.
Yeah. What and so that you were talking about the cost of things, and this might be a little bit controversial, but I think there's a misconception that although a Walt Disney World vacation is not inexpensive, I think there's a misconception that it's not affordable for most people. That there are things that you can do if you do your research, if you work with an experienced Disney travel planner, that you can select options to
Hmm.
keep your cost, your overall cost of the vacation affordable. You may have to save for it for a year or two, but it doesn't have to be $6,000 for
No,
a family of four.
yeah, I'll tell you, when we took our kids when they were small, we stayed at the value resorts, which are the cheaper of all the resorts. And the reason we did that it wasn't, well, part of it was because of the price, but part of it was because it was a place to just rest our head on a pillow for the night. We knew we were not going to be in the room, so why were we going to pay a lot of money for a resort room when we were never going to be there?
And it was better than a resort out on 192.
Oh, absolutely. Or one with a helicopter pad on top of it.
Right? Oh my gosh.
And pay attention. Disney has lots of promotions. You see the advertising. So sometimes it's 25% off the rates just for any average guest.
Oh, and that's another thing I do want to mention. Free dining is coming back next year. Wait, is it? Oh, maybe not. I'm sorry. I take that back. It's never mind. Forget I said that. I wish I could edit that out. I've made a mistake saying that, but Disney's had free dining in the past.
Yeah. Well,
But when they have free dining and you're choosing free dining, you're paying rack rates for the room. Sometimes you're better off with the discounts, like John mentioned.
Right. It depends on what your goal is. So, but food is one of the places where you can save money. There are lots of ways you can get your food less expensive, including taking food and drinks into the park with you.
Yep.
We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to stop you for bringing bottles of, or sorry, I shouldn't say bottles, but plastic bottles of soda, snacks. You can put those things in your backpack, and they're going. If they look through your backpack, they're not going to stop you because you have food in it.
And Darlene, in her water bottle, she mixes gin and fruit punch.
I'm like waiting for you to say that I put my lemon in my water.
Yeah, no, Darlene does not bring alcohol into the park. She drinks a lot of alcohol in the parks, but she doesn't bring it into the parks.
Correct.
See?
Inside the parks, yes.
Yeah.
No.
No, don't even try that because you will get caught if you try to even smuggle it in. They'll find it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's okay because we've done it before. I've brought in a bottle of Coke, or I've made my Yoda glass. I'll make lemonade, my lemon water, and I'll bring that in.
What did you? Who did you just say was on that cup?
Oh, the child. Sorry. Go Gru.
Is anybody watching Ahsoka?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it's good. Good stuff.
It is good. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
The second highest rated streaming show this week.
Wow.
After Elemental, ahead of all the Netflix stuff.
I didn't watch it yet.
Really? Ahead of Murders in the Building too?
Murders in the Building was 4th or 5th, I think, was what I saw.
Okay.
But I watched
caught up
both
with Murders in the Building, so
yeah,
I've seen none of it.
Oh boy.
I think you'd like Murders in the Building.
Yeah, the pairing of Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. Oh my God, brilliant!
Kyle watches it, and I have not seen it. I haven't had time to watch TV.
You have to.
It is funny. It is smart. It's interesting. They have fantastic writing on that show.
Yeah, and the chemistry amongst the actors.
Right.
is
Yeah.
just unbelievable.
And
It's
the guest stars that they
yes,
have.
Oh yeah, they've had
yeah,
great guest stars.
yeah. Meryl Streep has been on the show this year, and she is a phenomenal actress, as are all of them on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, another misconception with Disney that we
Was that
have
our advertisement to get some funds from Hulu to
no,
support the technical
no,
parts of the show here? Oh, okay.
no,
I know, right?
absolutely
That
not.
and Disney Plus with Elemental.
I have to watch Elemental. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list this weekend.
Yeah, mine too. There's a few movies on Amazon Prime I want to see. It's just I never have time to watch anything because I'll sit down to start to watch something, and if it goes more than an hour, I will get interrupted by someone or a four-legged creature. More likelihood here.
I like 30-minute shows if I can.
Yeah,
Tell
Hour
the
and a
truth,
half
Stuart. You're
max.
going to sleep.
I'm sorry.
Said, tell the truth, Stuart. You're just going to sleep.
No, not all the time. Sometimes, not all the time. But another misconception about Disney is it's too hot in Florida, and yes, it is at certain times of the year, but not all year.
Not in January sometimes.
No, and I understand that if you're coming with kids, you're going to come in all likelihood in June, July, August. I get that. But, all right, this year we had an unbelievably, brutally hot summer. We did. There's no doubting that or denying that. But for the most part, you can get by here in the heat. All you've got to do is be prepared. Bring suntan lotion, bring those, neck fans, those cooling towels,
Cooling towels.
wear a hat, get into air conditioning as often as you can. There's not a lot of shaded places in some of the parks. I think Animal Kingdom, everybody talks about how, they refer to the heat in Disney and they go, it's Animal Kingdom hot. I don't think Animal Kingdom's the hottest park.
It's very shaded with all the trees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Animal Kingdom is like 15 degrees hotter than everywhere else.
No, not true. Not true.
Oh,
Hollywood Studios and certain parts of Epcot are brutally hot compared to
Because
Animal
there's no
Kingdom.
shade.
Yep, no
yeah.
shade whatsoever. You can duck into buildings in those
Yes.
places, which is good. And I think it's a little more sparse in Animal Kingdom, which is probably why it got that reputation. But there is a lot of shaded areas in Animal Kingdom now.
Yeah, and Epcot, we talked about this before in how to deal with the heat, but in Epcot, the buildings, the air conditioning can be pretty far apart, depending on where
Yes.
you are.
Yep. Yeah. Anybody else have any misconceptions that they can think of or want to discuss that they've heard?
There's some people have a misconception that you go to Walt Disney World and it's a one and done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
And that's Walt Disney World is the place where you are most likely to want to come back because, and this is one of my other misconceptions, is that you can see it all in a day or two or a week.
You can. I've done it.
You miss a lot when you try to do it all in 4 days.
So
you can, unless you're there for a month or more, you're not going to do everything in one trip. It's impossible.
No.
Yeah.
I think every single one of us have probably a combined total of thousands of visits to the parks, and we can all name something that we've not done yet.
Yeah.
Or
Some
seen.
of them,
Yes.
Yeah. Some of them are because timing was just never right, couldn't do it, or some of it is because I just never wanted to for some reason.
Especially dining.
To
get to all of the restaurants.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so many restaurants I have not eaten at yet.
And even some of the attractions, you say, okay, I couldn't do it this trip, or we didn't have time on this trip. I'll do it on the next trip. And the next trip comes along, and it's like, okay, here we go again. I'll have to wait till the next trip.
And Disney is investing $17 billion in the resort over the next 10 years. So they're always, complain about the walls, but the walls are there because they're refurbishing something. They're building something new. So there's it's amazing the things that have changed if you haven't been in the park in just a year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And like we used to be like Stuart said, you come down here and you like try to get everything in, and we would run from morning to night and exhaust ourselves and
Mhm.
need a vacation from the trip we just got back from. We finally figured out when we were coming back a little bit more here, and it was like 98 and 2001 and 2004 and 6 and all that we were coming back, that we didn't have to kill ourselves and exhaust
Yeah.
ourselves, and be able to enjoy the park and not feel stressed about it. That's one good thing, like
Mhm.
when my family comes down now, and with us living here, we can go back if they want, and be able to enjoy it. They don't have to rush and, you
See,
know,
I don't well, maybe with your family, with my family, when they come down here, namely my daughter and my brother, or some other family members, I get stressed when they're down here because they want to rush and get to do as many things as like they'll pick one park to go to, but they want to get it all done. And it's like, it's not going to happen.
yeah.
Maybe Hollywood Studios, because there just aren't that many attractions there. So you may not be able to do everything, but you'll be able to do everything you wish to do on any given day.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean it's going to be every day, but you have to hit things right.
Yeah.
Like it helps when Rise of the Resistance was closed and it just opens up when you're walking by. That helps a lot.
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
Yeah, it has. It has. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think anything else that we haven't touched
Well,
on.
you just touched on something there, and that is some people have the misconception that you can go down there and just wing it,
Yes.
Oh yeah, no.
not
Yep.
being prepared, not knowing about My Disney Experience, not knowing
Oh,
about what Genie Plus is if you might want to use it, or that at least currently you might need park reservations. Your whole experience could suffer if you don't do some planning ahead of time, if you don't do some research. Another reason why it helps to have a travel planner who's got the
mhm.
experience.
Yeah. And speaking of travel planners, we have a preferred travel planner, and that is Mouse Fan Travel. So, especially if you want to go to Walt Disney World, or even if you want to go to Disneyland, take a Disney cruise, an adventure by Disney, there's nobody better prepared to plan your vacation your way, the only way, the right way, the best way, than Mouse Fan Travel. And they've got great deals going on right now. Go to their website at www.mousefantravel.com. That's www.mousefantravel.com, and get in touch with one of their great agents today and let them plan your next trip. Um, yeah. I remember years ago, my brother and his then wife came down with their 3 kids to Walt Disney World, and they thought they could just walk into the park and, like, here we are. We're going to do anything and everything because we're here. And Disney said, too bad, get in line. Wait your turn. They figured that out quickly.
Well, speaking of lines, people have the misconception that, they don't want to go to Disney because they don't want to wait in the super long lines, when quite often the lines are part of the experience.
Right.
You
I
know,
know.
Speak for
you
yourself.
well, I love some of the queues. They're fantastic.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
enjoy waiting in line. That's the problem. Everybody's in a dang hurry
Mm.
nowadays. Just stop and look around and enjoy all the details and all the work that they put into each one of those queues.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
especially
lot.
like Flights of Passage. That the stuff that James Cameron did for that is just
Mhm.
amazing. That
Yeah.
is
Yes.
like, I think, one of my favorite queues to wait in line for.
Toy Story Mania,
Hmm.
that queue is wonderful if you
Oh
take the
gosh,
time to,
nostalgia.
yep,
Oh my goodness.
look at the details that went into that. Don't just look at what's there. Go
Hmm.
beyond what's there and look at those details.
Yep.
Brings back a lot of memories from when I was a kid.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Transportation. How are you going to get to the parks? Do you have to drive? That's another misconception. No, you don't. There's
Yeah,
buses and
I'm
monorail.
irritated about not having Magical Express anymore. I was just thinking about that the other day because we've got a trip coming up, and I forgot that now I have to figure out how we're getting to the park.
Um,
Got a plan.
You got a plan?
I don't have a plan. I need
Oh.
to get a
Well, plan.
plan.
I mean, my family did um the Mears bus service.
yeah, there used to be two bus services, but they merged, so there's one. It's back to Mears again.
Right, right.
Back to Mears,
Um,
yeah.
it's
Um,
it's
my
not
uncle
free.
rented a van.
You know, some people do that. They rent a one-way vehicle to get to the parks, and they rent one to get back to the airport. I think it's probably cheaper to just get on the Mears bus.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's not overly expensive, but it's not cheap when you're going with a family of 4, 5, 6.
And I believe the minivans are running again. The
Yes, they
mini.
are. You know what? The Mears buses may have deals for select dates. You might want to check into that.
Mhm.
Um,
There's our travel planning help for you tonight.
let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Notice I didn't prepare for this show. Came up with a topic, didn't prepare
So
for it.
do you prepare for?
You know, I prepare for a show. I just get on. Okay, let's see what comes out.
Well, I had one that I think it's and not that it's not have some bit of truth to it, but I think it's a misconception sometimes that Walt Disney World doesn't have thrill rides.
Oh,
That you have to go to some other park somewhere.
You do. You have to go to Universal for that because Disney has none.
Yeah.
Tower of Terror, Dinosaur, no.
Tower of Terror, Expedition Everest, Space Mountain, Cosmic Rewind, Rock and Roller Coaster, Mission
It's a small
Space.
world.
yeah.
What's
No, it's not. It's a small.
Oh
It's a
my
small world.
gosh.
It is
Right,
not a world. It could be thrilling for those who enjoy it, like Darlene, but it's not a thrill ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
golly.
You're right, John. A lot of people think you're only going to find thrill rides at amusement parks or Universal, not at Disney World. But Disney has Tron. You
Yeah.
could say,
Oh yeah, the new one, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Flights of Passage, I think, is a thrill ride. Where you're flying over Avatar.
mhm. Yeah.
And the theming of the new Rise of the Resistance and Mickey's Runaway Railway is just amazing. I think there's a lot for everybody.
Yeah, there is. There absolutely is. And when Walt Disney came up with the idea, it was for families
Mhm.
and extensions of families, from children to parents to grandparents and children of all ages. By children of all ages, it's not just toddlers; it's young adults, it's teenagers, it's everyone. Yep,
Everyone.
everyone.
Yep.
It's all inclusive, which is great. Because you know what? I've been to Universal a couple of times, and I never felt like it was an all-inclusive park for everyone. It just, to me, it seemed like it was targeting the 18 to 34-year-olds or 35-year-olds. And yes, there were families there, and yes, there were kids of all ages there, but it just seemed the rides themselves were geared towards that main group of 18 to 35. And I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know if that's changed, although I doubt it. I'm hoping the new park will change things there.
There was a lot of construction going on when I was there last year with my friend Karen.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think we've covered a lot.
I think we have too.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I'm sure I will once we finish recording the show.
John, do you have anything else on your list?
Oh, I have things like you can just walk right up to a sit-down restaurant and get in for dinner.
Yeah, you can do that at times. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you can, but
I've had better success with that than making a reservation.
well, right, but it's similar to not being prepared and not
Oh yeah.
Right.
planning. Yeah, so
Um,
it's a kind of a misconception to think, with going to dinner at Disney World is like going to dinner at anywhere else.
not a topic for this show, but I want to bring it up maybe for a future show. Does Disney require you to prepare more for their parks than other theme parks? And is it at an acceptable or unacceptable level? And we can save that. We're not going to answer that question. We'll save it for another show.
Okay. Perfect.
I mean, we do know the reservations or park reservations for everybody, but pass holders are going away next year. Hopefully that'll happen after that too.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
My fingers are crossed.
Yeah. My biggest gripe with Disney right now is I don't want to have to make a reservation to go to a park. I want to be able to get up one day and go, I want to go this afternoon, I want to go this morning, or I want to go to sleep at night and go, you know what? I'm going to go to the parks tomorrow. I don't have to get on my computer or go on my phone and make a reservation.
I think that's the number one complaint of all guests these days.
Yeah.
And they're taking steps, but we
It's
want to
baby
get rid of it.
It's not
baby
as,
steps.
but I can tell you if you are local right now and you have access to the parks, there are bonus days the next 3 or 4 days. So check out for them. And one of them was Magic Kingdom
Ah,
and Hollywood.
yeah, we're thinking about going to one of the parks tomorrow night. Not sure if it's going to happen, but we're thinking about it. So that's the whole thing. I don't have to make that decision now. I want to make that decision like 5 minutes before I'm ready to go.
Right. Well, you can get into the parks now after
2, right? That's true. That's true. But if I got up in the morning and I said, you know what, I feel like taking a drive over to the Magic Kingdom, then I have to go on my phone or my computer and make a reservation and see if there's anything available.
I know.
And most of the time, honestly, most of the time there is. But I don't want to have to do that. I don't like being told where I need to be and when. I like to plan, but I like to plan on my terms, not Disney's terms. Anyway.
I used to like to do that too. I did that when I first moved down.
Yeah, but you know what? Whether Disney gets rid of the reservation system or not for everyone at any point doesn't matter. You still have to plan. You can't just show up at the parks and go, okay, here I am. I'm going to go on every single attraction in this park today. No, you're not.
You need to know which rides have lines, which rides are more easier to get on in the morning. You got to do some research for the rides, especially if your kid wants to go on not Rock and Roller Coaster, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Yep. That line gets really, really long at the end of, within like an hour and a half of park.
But another misconception people have, they have the misconception that they're going to show up at the parks for these character meet and greets and be able to see all these characters just because they're there in the park. It doesn't work that way sometimes. Sometimes you get lucky and you do meet the characters your child is dying to see, but you can't promise your child they're going to meet Cinderella and get their picture taken with Cinderella because sometimes you have to make a reservation for that.
Yeah.
So, yes, it can happen, and yes, you can do it, but you have to prepare for that.
Yeah.
As you do with everything else there.
And you can walk by, check the lines and stuff. Most Fairy Tale Hall in Magic Kingdom is pretty good about posting the times and the waits and stuff.
Yeah. All right. I think, John, do you have anything else you want to bring up?
I've covered what I'm going to cover.
Okay. I think we're all good. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here now. We will be back next week, and we have a great show prepared for you next week. John came up with a great idea that's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope you come back. We hope you visit us, see some of our past shows, and don't hold it against us.
And vote for Darlene.
And vote for Darlene by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the show. The more people that vote for Darlene and the more people that subscribe to the show, the more likely is she'll still be here next week and the weeks after. All right. Until next time, everybody be safe. Always be yourself. Bye-bye.
See you real soon.
What we said today is it's a misconception that you can do it all in a day. And it's a misconception that you can just walk around anywhere at Walt Disney World. Well, that's because it's a misconception that it's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. Oh, good enough. But so, as we know, it's not a small world, but we hope that it will feel like the wait till the next show is a small one. So we will all see you all then. Good night.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. Pack your sunscreen and your rain poncho. And please vote for us.
No, you, Darlene.
Like our pages.